welcome to episode 60.
Ooh, episode 60.
You're so excited.
I am just not an excited person.
Ooh.
Ooh, check it out.
Ooh. Yeah, so there. Take that.
I'll take it. I don't know where to take it, but I'll take it.
Either my internet's being crazy and my document is not loading. It has one line of text on it, even though, you see how you can see all the text?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. Okay, don't worry.
I was quite worried.
Don't worry, I fixed it with my mind. Yeah, well, it was your birthday.
It was my birthday. I got very old.
And you got some Buc-ee's.
I did get some Buc-ee's.
And you got a torchy taco.
I did get a torchy taco.
Yep.
And I got some little guys.
Yes, you did. Like, after a million gazillion tries.
Yeah. And a million gazillion broken machines.
Yeah, that was really dumb.
Yeah, I've never been there when that many machines should have out of order signs on them. I actually had planned on bringing like some tape and a marker so that I could mark all the ones that I found that were out of order so other people wouldn't get scammed,
Yeah.
but then I forgot.
So, Farron is referring to, like, little claw machines that are, like, little claw machines.
Sort of like little mini claw machines with little plush guys in them. And I have a gambling problem when it comes to those.
Yep, you sure do.
I am addicted to getting little guys and trying to get little guys.
Hazel's doing some purring for us.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but yes.
Well, we are here.
We are, and we weren't, but we are now.
We are, and I know we always have excuses because we are the queens of excuses.
Yes, we are.
But
we're eventually going to get our shit together.
If you would like to feel sorry for us, our dog did die.
Yes.
So
it was a really rough week last week. And then my birthday happened, and so it took some time to get ourselves together. But like I said, we'll eventually get our shit together.
Maybe. We'll see. Someday.
Someday.
Well, here's the deal.
What's up?
Last year, your birthday episode,
Mm-hmm.
I brought to you the wonderfulness that was Jeff the Talking Mongoose.
Yes.
And I realized this year that, like, I really went big. Because I don't know how to beat Jeff the Talking Mongoose.
Right.
Because what more could you want in a story? I mean, you have a mongoose that's maybe dead, maybe not.
An 80-year-old.
An 80-year-old who was from Delhi, India.
Yes.
Who has human hands.
Yes.
And is so sassy.
If you missed that episode, please go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Or watch it. Listen to it.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
There's nowhere to watch it.
No.
I didn't write it down. I don't remember which episode it was. But it was from the week of February 27th last year.
Didn't tell me those jalapenos were that spicy. I put 3 of them on there.
Okay, and that was the child complaining about spicy jalapenos.
Oh.
Say hello.
Hello.
But
okay, now go do your homework. Okay. So the thing about Jeff is, like, you know, if he's done talking, he just yells vanish and then stops talking. And I don't know. I just don't know how you beat Jeff the Talking Mongoose. I found another, like, not as crazy, but crazy story that I was going to tell you.
yeah.
And then I realized that there wasn't enough information.
Mm-hmm.
But let me quickly tell you. Have you ever heard of asparamancy?
No, but I'm gonna assume it has something to do with resurrecting asparagus.
You're very close.
Ah.
Hold on. Because I actually meant to write all of this down, and I did not because I am who I So it does have to do with asparagus.
Nice.
There is a woman in the UK named Jemima Packington, which, first of all, great name.
It's like the actress slash director Emerald Fennell. I think she has like the best name.
Yeah, so, well, Jemima is the world's only experimancer. She tells your fortune using asparagus.
Okay.
So let me tell you, you get a bundle of asparagus, right? And you toss it into the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then, however it lands, she makes predictions.
Okay.
It is, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
Loopy?
we could say that. She's been on some BBC like morning shows, and I watched
Throwing
her.
her asparagus?
Well, it was like the talk show host would like toss the asparagus, and I was expecting like shoo, and then the asparagus falls. They just kind of like flooped it onto this like tray. I don't know. It was not as much fun as I wanted it to be. Um, let's see. I want to tell you some of her predictions.
Also, we need to coin the phrase tossing the asparagus.
This is the asparagus. TM TM. She may have already TM'd that though, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Her predictions for 2026 are, let's see, a UK general election with regime change, a shock swing to Democrats in the US midterms. Of course, our president's bombing people. And the arrest of a former royal household member. Former Prince Andrew literally just got arrested, so
Well, way to go, asparagus.
I know. She also has predicted that K-pop will decline, so sorry, guy. UK football will have a tremendous World Cup. Uh,
I listen to the same like 40 K-pop songs anyway, so
well, I mean, if she made the prediction before former Prince Andrew was arrested, she did a great job. Um, Hold on, there's another one that was her predictions for 2024 to see if they came true. But my internet is being super lame. So maybe not. But anyway, so I did hear that she predicted that Kamala would win. That prediction was absolutely not correct, and I wish that it had been.
sorry, asparagus.
Yeah. But anyway,
You failed
so
us.
I really was going to try to make that a whole story.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't enough for a whole story.
Yeah.
The backstory apparently was that she has an aunt or something that is a fortune teller or a psychic or something, and that when Jemima was like a toddler or something, she threw her asparagus and then she babbled something, and her parents were like, "Whoa, maybe you got the gift." And ever since then, she's been telling fortunes with asparagus.
Well,
I don't love asparagus.
I like asparagus.
I like asparagus when it's like the really skinny, floppy ones.
Yeah.
I don't like the fatter ones that have more of a, I don't know, bite to them.
I don't know. I don't really have a preference with asparagus. I like it with lemon and garlic.
Yeah. Oh, when asked what she does with the asparagus after she's done telling fortune, she says that she pops it in the microwave for 5 minutes and puts some butter on it.
Well, yeah, that's how I cook asparagus too.
So,
I learned that from Alton Brown, though.
or you didn't learn it from the experimenter?
No, I learned it from Alton Brown. You just like cut your asparagus and then wrap it in a wet paper towel and nuke it for like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's perfectly cooked. Then I usually toss it in a pan with butter and garlic and pepper and lemon.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I needed just the little skinny floppy ones.
Okay.
What did Barry used to call them? Asparagus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, that's that. I have an actual whole story to tell you if you would like to hear it, unless you're done, and then we can say goodbye.
I mean, I guess I'm up for a story.
Okay, great. All right, well, I first heard this story on And That's Why We Drink, and then I listened to the episodes that Sinister Hood, Two Girls, One Ghost, and Hillbilly Horror,
Uh-huh.
Woo, Hillbilly Horror Stories did. Have you ever listened to them?
No.
That's really good. You should listen to them. Um, I mean, it's no Jeff, but it's a pretty wild story. So, even though I did listen to those shows, most of the information I have is from the writings of the man who experienced everything in the story.
Uh-huh.
His name is Steven LaChance. He wrote a book called The Uninvited, which I did read. And he also wrote out kind of an abbreviated version of the story that I found on legendsofamerica.com.
Mm-hmm.
The story was also featured on Discovery Channel's A Haunting. It was season 3, episode 1. I think it's called Fear House. And Hillbilly Horror Stories. To be very careful.
Hillbilly horror
Horror.
stories.
Man, that's a tongue twister. Interviewed him on their show. So, and there's other interviews you can find on YouTube. So this story is the Union Screaming House, which is located in Union, Missouri.
Well, I mean, I would be disappointed if it wasn't located in Union something or other.
Well, do you know anything about the Screaming House?
It doesn't sound familiar at this point.
This is a crazy story. So we're going to back up to Steven LaChance's history. He grew up in the area. He had a sister and a brother. Pretty typical upbringing. He got married, had 3 kids whose names are Eliza, Elliot, and Eli. They were born between like 1988 and 1991.
For a second there, when you said Eliza, it didn't like click in my head, and I was just like, what is this name?
Eliza.
And then I was like, oh, I've heard that name before.
Nice trope. So, dear Eliza, dear Eliza.
I was like, what kind of a name is Eliza?
Yeah. Okay, so Steven's story about what happens next in his personal life is that 1, his sister died maybe around 1991, kind of suddenly, I think. And 2, his wife left the family. He claims that she told him she never wanted to be a mother, and that she wasn't just divorcing him, but she was also divorcing the kids. She also dropped the bomb on him that they had to move out of their home like immediately because she had stopped paying rent like a while ago and they were getting evicted. And I don't remember. There you go. Just a fresh start. I'm just giving you a fresh start. That's all. I don't remember if it was this episode of Sinisterhood or another one I had listened to, but they were like, there are 3 sides to every story. His story, her story, and the truth.
Yes.
And we don't know her side of the story because she's never brought up again, but I think his wife left maybe around 1995 based on the notes that I took when I read the book in October, because it's been a while. I didn't have access to it while I was writing the story yesterday because I read it via interlibrary loan.
Yeah.
And it was from like a library in Indiana or something, so I couldn't just run out and get it again. But the note I wrote down was in 1993, 2 years before the wife left, Eliza, the oldest child and only daughter, claimed to see her aunt, the sister who had died, in the closet wearing a yellow dress.
Okay.
Yeah. Post-divorce, Stephen and the kids lived with his parents for a while, and then they moved into an apartment, which was pretty cramped. He was working as a photographer in one of those mall photo studios, and eventually was made manager and then like a trainer for other managers, so he would have to travel to other malls and other places to train people to work in these places. And when he traveled, the kids would stay with his parents. In May 2001, this would put Eliza at about 13. Stephen is looking for a new place for him and the kids to live because apartment life is just too close with these 2 crazy little boys. And he said that he would often leave the boys behind when he and Eliza would go looking at places because people didn't want to rent to a single dad with 3 kids or like with 2 boys or something that sounded illegal for tenants or for landlords not to rent to people.
Right.
But it was also 2001, so I don't know. So one day, and I don't remember if it was that he found an ad for this house or he just happened upon an open house or whatever. But he and Eliza go to an open house, and it's this 2-story place with it's like a big white house
Mm-hmm.
with 3 bedrooms, a big yard. It's pretty roomy, kind of old, but well taken care of. It has a basement that included a fruit cellar and a butcher's shower.
I would have been like, no thanks at the butcher shower.
You don't think you would want that?
No.
Well, where are you going to wash all of your blood off at?
I'm hopefully never going to be covered in blood.
But after you slaughter the pigs and stuff, what are you going to do?
Yeah, considering I'm a very, like, staunch vegetarian, I don't see that happening.
So just no to the butcher shower is what you're saying to me?
I like to, like, kiss little pigs and stuff like that. I don't have any interest in eating them
Okay.
or butchering them for other people to eat or...
And even like a disused butcher shower isn't for you?
No, it's gotta be some bad juju.
You think, yeah. But the house is listed like super cheap
Mm-hmm.
for the amount of house that it was.
That should be a red flag on its own, though.
Well, and I think looking back, hindsight, it was. So it's within his budget, and he's like, this is too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they say. So, quick side note. I am assuming in the book that Stephen attempted to change names to protect the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
So between his book and his online account and other tellings of the story, details are kind of different. So for instance, the children's names in the book are Lydia, Michael, and Matthew.
I was gonna say he made up this wild name, Eliza.
But the thing about it is we know their real names to be Eliza, Elliot, Eli, is that what I said? Because 2 of them were featured on the episode of A Haunting. They were interviewed for the thing.
Yeah.
So the other major difference is that in the book he describes this landlord as an old man with a bad toupee named Mr. Winters, which it seems like the landlord was actually a landlady. It was a woman.
Okay.
I have no idea what her name is or was. I'm going to go ahead and refer to the landlord as she, her. So, back to the story. Stephen mentions in various places that the landlady showed off the house more like giving a tour of a museum rather than showing the house to be like rented.
Yeah.
But he's so excited. He just figures this lady is eccentric. He puts in his application, but he's not super hopeful because there are a lot of other people looking at the house. And as he and Eliza are getting ready to leave, the landlady asks him, "Do you understand the responsibility of living in an old house like this?" And he thought it was a weird question, but he was like, yeah, definitely, it's beautiful. And I think he probably just assumed she meant like the plumbing is tricky,
and
you know,
whatnot.
like you have to turn on this light for your vacuum cleaner to work, you know, like something weird like that. He also wasn't about to say no because he was desperate for this house. A week later, the landlady called and told him that she had chosen his application and wanted to meet at a restaurant the next day to fill out the paperwork. And that weekend was Memorial Day weekend, and they were going to move in then. So they're moving into the house on a Friday, and Stephen is unloading a box from the truck in the front when a car slows down. I wrote, when a house slows down.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, this house was driving by. When a car slows down and rolls down the window and yells, "Hope you get along okay here," and then speeds off and drives away.
Meow.
Yeah. And Eliza was like, "What was that about?" Stephen just shrugs it off like, "It's probably a friendly neighbor." Because they're in the Midwest, and isn't that like the stereotype? That they're like overly friendly?
I guess so.
I guess. But either way, they get all the boxes into the house. They go to bed for the night. I think that the boys either didn't have beds yet at the new house, like he was going to buy them new beds, or he just hadn't put them together yet. I can't remember because it's been too long since I read the book. But that first night, they all slept in Stephen's room. And this is a quote from him from the Legends of America article, Quote, the first night in the house went by without fanfare, maybe because we were so tired from the move, or perhaps because the house wanted to draw us in a little closer before beginning its series of attacks and assaults upon me and my family.
Groovy.
So, spoiler alert, it's haunted.
Oh, well, I wouldn't have guessed that from
I didn't-
Screaming House.
I didn't know if you just thought, like, the floorboards were really creaky or something. Made a lot of noise when you walked around.
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the next morning, Steven notices something strange as he's kind of walking around the house, and it's that the rooms have hook and eye latches on the doors. Only they're not on the inside of the doors to keep people out, they're on the outside of the doors like you were trying to keep something in.
Okay.
But as a person who lives in an old house, I can tell you that sometimes you put latches in weird places just to keep the door shut, because they don't always like to stay shut. Like the door that connects my room to the utility room doesn't latch, so I literally have a lock on both sides to keep the door shut from whichever side I'm on.
Yep.
And you need one on the outside of your door so that Hazel can't bust in, because she's a buster inner.
Yeah, she is.
But I'm sure that might look weird to someone who hasn't experienced that before. So later that day, Steven describes his first maybe hint at something paranormal. He's in the living room hanging up a picture of angels. So one thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that in true tacky 90s fashion, the living room had a border of cherubs around the ceiling.
Cute.
So cherubs plus butcher shower. Are
Right.
you...
I mean, I do like a cherub.
Do you? But do you like tacky 90s cherubs?
Have you seen my orange cherubs?
You're right. Sorry, Farron's not the person to talk to about this. How do you guys feel about tacky cherubs on borders around living rooms?
When I saw that gold cherub shelf at the thrift store, I had to have it.
Yeah, but
And
I
then I
want you to
spray painted it
picture,
orange.
like, I'm picturing it this way. I don't know if this is what it actually looks like, but like that, like, mauve color on like the top and the bottom, and then like some like cherubs with like some like vines or something. You still in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, this house is for Farron, other than
No, the butcher shower has me
You're still saying
questioning
no?
things.
But do the cherubs cancel out the butcher shower?
No.
No?
No, I could put cherubs in any house.
Okay, whatever. So anyway, thanks. Eliza, in true preteen girl style, especially because she's the only, like, literal only girl in the house, is like, this picture of angels is going to go great with these cherubs. And so Steven hangs it up. He turns to leave the room and he hears a crash. He turns around. Picture of angels is on the floor. He goes back over, hangs it up again, walks away, crash. The third time, I imagine he's just like nailing it directly to the wall this time. And as he's walking...
Got some duct tape.
Right. And as he's
like
walking
the
away...
banana on the wall.
Please tell me more. Banana on a wall?
Yeah.
Oh, it's art?
Oh,
you just duct tape a banana to your wall?
No, it...
Is this a thing that people do?
Oh.
Oh.
Give me a minute. It refers to a famous and highly controversial conceptual art piece titled Comedian by Italian artist Maurizio Catalan. It consists of a real yellow banana fixed to a white wall with a single piece of silver duct tape.
Huh.
And it was worth $6.2 million.
Huh.
And people were not happy about it because it was literally just a banana taped to a wall.
I wouldn't want to do that because one, the banana's gonna, and then you're gonna get fruit flies, and also it's probably gonna leave like a greasy stain on your wall.
Well, it sold at Sotheby's, like I said, for $6.2 million.
So did they just like the piece of wall out?
I don't know. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I kind of remember this. So, it's kind of like an NFT.
I don't really. Okay, I know that phrase. Have never really understood what it meant.
Um, in a sense, you buy something, but you don't really own the thing that you buy.
Okay. Maybe that's why I don't understand it.
I don't really understand it either. So this says,
So somebody gave this guy $6.2 million just to duct tape a banana to the wall.
it says the buyer does not purchase the physical banana, which is replaced every 7 to 10 days to prevent rotting. Instead, they purchase a certificate of authenticity that gives them the authority to reproduce the installation on their own wall. So they purchased the rights to tape a banana to their wall for $6.2 million.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that because of this, I'm not allowed to duct tape a banana to my own wall if I don't buy the rights to do that?
Dude, I don't know how it works.
Who's gonna stop me? Are they gonna sue me? I'm gonna go duct tape a banana to the wall right now.
Yeah.
Except I'm
Says,
not, because fruit flies.
right? Says following the viral success, various more affordable permanent replicas, hand-painted foam or prints, are available online, often sold as modern home wall decor or funny banana sculpture art for around $20 to $80.
Oh, that's all. That's fine.
The
Okay.
art is not the rotting fruit. Excuse me, your butt's in the way, kitten. But the idea and the official certificate permitting its display.
Okay. Well, that's weird, and I don't love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I guess he's duct taping it with a banana to the wall.
Its original sale price was $120,000.
That's still too much for a literal. Like, I could go to Walmart right now. I could go to Allsup's right now and buy a banana.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have duct tape somewhere. That's so silly.
Yeah.
I
So,
just, rich people.
yeah, duct tape. We were talking about duct
Yes.
taping the angles to the wall, and it reminded me of duct tape banana.
Yes. Okay. So, hangs it up first time, walks away, crash.
Trash.
Hangs it up second time, walks away, crash. Hangs it up the third time. As he's walking away, he feels something hit the back of his ankles. He turns around. The picture had like flown across the room and hit him in the legs.
Okay.
So he goes back, hangs it up for the fourth time. Because apparently he's more determined than I am
And
at
I'd
this
be
point.
like, fine. Don't be on the wall then.
I don't even care. And he tells it, stay there, damn it. And I guess it stuck that time. Guess he just needed to like
Be
also,
forceful with it.
yes. So around the same time, the kids are playing in the front yard. And Eliza hollers for Steven to come outside and see something. So the something is that anytime someone is walking down the street, when they get to their house, the person crosses to the other side of the street. They won't even look at the house. Like, they keep their head down the whole time they're passing in front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And Eliza tells him, they don't like walking in front of our house. Isn't that weird, Dad?
Red flag number 17.
Right. So he goes on to say that they sat out there for 3 hours watching as every person does the same ritual of not walking directly in front of their house.
How often are people walking in front of their house?
My literal next sentence says, how many people are walking down the street? This is a small town in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a busy street? Is it nearby downtown? Why are there so many people that you felt compelled to watch this for 3 hours?
Yeah, because, like, I feel like for our small town, people walk by our house often, but it's still, in 3 hours, you might see 1 or 2 people walk by our
Right,
house.
I know. And I feel like I'd be bored after I watched the second guy do it. I'd just be
Mhm.
like, that's weird. Okay, I'm gonna go watch Veronica Mars now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So, other weird things start to happen. Steven would hear boxes fall over upstairs. That's just me not stacking them safely.
Right?
Or the cats.
I was going to say, it's cats.
Cats knocking them over. The kids would hear someone walking in the hallway at night or feel like someone was watching them as they slept. Which, I mean, I think that as a kid in a new house, I would probably just be freaked out principal. Eliza's closet would open by itself and freak her out. Again, could just be the door not latching.
I was going to say, I have nails nailed into the wall and then bent over latching those closet doors because they do not stay shut on their own.
Yep. But she probably is afraid of closets since Aunt Jan was
Just
hanging out in her closet.
hanging out in her yellow dress.
And since it's a paranormal story, we'll just say it's a ghost. So I think it was Steven who mentioned seeing a man in a red flannel shirt standing in his bedroom doorway. I feel like that already. I would have been like, no, this isn't for me.
Not creepy enough.
I don't need an old man standing in my doorway.
Red flag 212.
Yes. It's just like that guy on TikTok that like runs through the field with the flag. Yeah. So the next best thing.
The next best thing that happened.
The next big thing, I guess the only big thing that's happened so far, is that one day they're out working in the yard, and the first thing that Steven notices is that even though it's June, all of the leaves are falling out of the tree in the backyard like it's fall.
Mm-hmm.
He says he made a note to ask the landlady about it, and then he asks one of his sons, I think it was the youngest one, to run into the basement and get the water hose. I personally have never had a basement. But as a child who watched movies, I will tell you right now, I would have been like, hard pass.
Go get it yourself, bro.
Yeah. Or I would have been like, my brother and sister have to come with me. Like,
Yeah.
No.
So I can shove them in front of the guys.
That's right. But this kid, who is apparently braver than I was at like, 8 or 9, runs into the house, and pretty soon Steven hears this kid screaming from inside the house. So he drops whatever he's doing. He runs inside and finds the little boy screaming and crying in a puddle of pee in the kitchen. And the son tells his dad, something chased me up the basement steps. And when Steven asked him, like, what was it? He tells him, I don't know, Daddy, but it was big. Of course, the older kids are trying to tease him about the basement monster. Steven figures he just got scared because I sent him to the basement by himself. And they just kind of go about their day. Steven said he went into the basement to check it out himself, but he didn't see anything. And
grab the water hose while you're down there, bro.
Right? Yeah, right. I don't know if he did or not. I can't verify that. But this is all escalating very quickly because if I'm understanding the timeline correctly, they moved in on Friday and this happened on Sunday.
Okay.
So another thing they noticed was that anytime they would leave, when they came back, all the lights in the house would be on. Hillbilly Horror Story said it was haunted by Trace Adkins, which I thought was a great joke.
Yes.
So a minute ago, remember I told you that my document wasn't loading and there was only one line written on it? It just said Trace Adkins. Because I had wrote that down so that I would remember it whenever I was writing my story.
Mm-hmm.
So Steven figured the boys were just forgetting to turn off lights. So that next Friday, before they left the house, he got the boys in the car and he and Eliza walked through the house making sure every light was turned off before they left. But when they returned home that evening, every light was on. So Steven goes in the house and starts searching it for someone in the house because he figures that's the only logical explanation.
They're just looking out for you. I don't like coming home to a dark house.
That's right. I know you won't even get out of the car if the house is dark.
I'll drive around the block till somebody gets home.
You're so silly. So I think he even called the landlady to ask her if she had been in the house, and she was just like, no, that's illegal. I can't just come to your house. Is it dogs barking in, like...
I think it's dogs barking in the distance.
Yeah.
But our dog is also barking.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's a screaming house.
Possibly.
That's causing the dogs to bark. Okay. So anyway, calls the landlady. She says, no, it wasn't me. He doesn't find anyone. And Eliza.
See, I told you it's a weird name.
Eliza calls to him from the living room and says that it's freezing in there. And he's like, what is she talking about? I am melting. So he goes in there and it's like 30 degrees colder in that room than it was in the rest of the house. So the ghost is turning on all the lights, but not turning the air conditioner on, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, they're making it cold in the one room.
I guess, but the rest of the house is hot. So I don't know. And then Eliza says, well, it's starting to get warmer now. And Steven says that he watched the thermostat's temperature just like zoop up. Like that's how like fast the temperature was getting. So maybe there was an entity in the room making it cold and then it left. So it warmed up suddenly. During this time, Stephen said he felt the presence for the first time, and not even just with the cold, but he describes the feeling as like an electrical charge.
Mm-hmm.
And he does mention feeling this more times throughout the book. At some point, he even has his dad go to the house to check out the wiring because I think his dad was like a general contractor or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's got to be something wrong because why do I keep feeling like electricity? Dennis, could you tell us if that's true or not? Like, can you feel just electricity in the air if your wiring's bad? Please weigh in.
Please weigh in.
Via Amy.
Yes.
All right, so that Sunday night, I feel like Dennis gets mentioned so often that he should just start listening to the show.
Right?
All right.
Amy, get back to us.
So that Sunday night, so they've been in the house a week since the basement monster, and really just a week since they've lived in the house. They're hanging out in the living room before bed. And Steven is leaving for a week-long work trip the next morning, and the kids are talking about their upcoming stay with their grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And they're out of school now. I think the last week was like their last week of school. Steven notices something in the kitchen. So in the doorway between the kitchen and the family room, a man is standing there. And the way he describes, oh wait, hold on, I skipped a line. So this man, it's like he's solid, but not like a person is solid. He's made up of like churning smoke, but like you can't see through him because it's so dense.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the way that Stephen describes the house when they went to look at it was that there's a large wooden pole that acted as a divider between the family room and the dining room. I'm sorry, the family room and the living room. And at this moment, he's in the living room with the family, and he's seeing this like churning mass of a man in the doorway between the kitchen and the family room. The kids have their backs to it, so they don't see it, and he's trying to play it cool because he doesn't want to scare them. And so he does the thing every rational person does. He looks away, thinking, when I look back, it's going to be gone. A trick of the light or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But when he looks back, it's still there. And it starts moving into the family room, and it stops in the middle of the room. And then it, like, stays there for a couple of minutes, and then it melts into thin air. And he says about this moment, quote, I had two choices. We could run out of the house screaming into the night like those crazies you always see in the movies. Or the other choice, we could get up quietly, leave the house, and figure all of this out. So remember, the kids haven't seen it, so they don't even know what's going on. Veronica, ma'am, she's trying to scare you with her claws.
Yeah.
So the kids haven't seen the thing. They don't know that he's scared. They don't know what is going on. So Steven chooses option 2, and he tells the kids, hey, let's go get a Coke and go visit Grandma. And Eliza's a little skeptical because she's like, go get a Coke before bed. What are you talking about? But the littlest boy is like, we're going to go get a Coke before bed. Heck yeah. So Steven doesn't say anything, just grabs the keys. They were on the coffee table right next to him. And when they get out on the front porch and he turns to lock the door, a loud scream comes from inside the house. Steven describes it sounding like a man in pain. And he said it was so loud that he was sure that you could hear it throughout the neighborhood and that dogs even started to bark. So that's what those dogs are barking out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So option 2 was now out the window. And he yells to the kids to get in the car, and they screech out of the driveway. But before they made their getaway, though, the littlest son told Steven, Daddy, the basement monster is standing in the upstairs window. And when Steven looked up, he saw the black form he had seen that night standing in the window.
Not creepy at all.
They did not go home that evening. They stayed with Grandma an extra night.
Not go home
Ever? Mm-hmm. Ma'am, you cannot bite that. That is important things. Ma'am, Veronica, stop it. I don't know what to do with you. Because Chunk's gonna kill you if I put you that way. I don't know what to do. Anyway, so Steven returned from his business trip the following Friday, and he said he had kind of rationalized his way out of being scared of the house. Plus, he talks about how this was all they had. He had put all of his savings into the deposit, and he was in a rental agreement. So he felt like he had to make it work. So he picks up the kids and they went home. He said nothing of note happened over the weekend, but the kids were understandably still scared and not really sleeping. They did decide to clean out the shed in the backyard that weekend, and they found stuff that clearly belonged to previous tenants.
Mm-hmm.
And his parents are like, dude, just call your landlord and ask her about the stuff.
Those like voodoo dolls and
Well, so he calls and he asks her if any of the other tenants had ever mentioned seeing ghosts in the house.
severed heads.
And at first she says no. And then she's like, well, a woman mentioned seeing her dad's ghost, but she's like, but she had candles, so I think she was practicing witchcraft. Obviously.
Whoa.
I wrote LOL.
I've got some candles.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Um, she says some of the stuff in the shed is this woman's and that she's called her to come get it, but she never showed up. She says the other stuff was from a man who lived in the house who left in the middle of the night and never came back. He probably also had candles. But no one's ever mentioned the house is haunted. Why do you ask?
No. They never flat out said the house is haunted.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They just ran far, far away.
And I'm not sure where this story falls in the timeline of their stay in this house because I don't have it written down in my notes from the book, but I know they talked about it in their interviews on the episode of A Haunting. But there's one time when one of the sons needed to go to the bathroom and Steven was like, so go. And the kid's like, oh, someone needs to come with me. And he finally gets up to go and said that there was an entity that was like, I guess, a black mass that went into the form of a clown with no eyes.
Cute.
Hello? No. I would never go to the bathroom again. I would hold it until I was at grandma's house. I'd just move into grandma's house.
Like, you know what? Peace out.
Yeah.
You can keep your clown with no eyes.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm done. Well, Monday rolls around again, and we're on like what, week 3 or 4? I don't even know if we're that far into it. Still not that long. And Steven is hanging out in the living room talking to his mom on the phone. And the kids were playing in his room. I think the layout of the house was that his room was on the first floor and the kids' rooms were upstairs. And they were all downstairs in Steven's room at this moment, and he hears the doors rattling, and he ignores it, thinking it's just the kids. And then it happens again louder, and he's like, knock it off. And finally, Eliza hollers to him, sounding scared, and says, it's not us. I'm reading, and my brothers are asleep. And I guess this was like all of the doors rattling, so it couldn't possibly be the kids anyway, because, there's only 3 of them. So he says the temperature suddenly drops 30 degrees. I guess this is the temperature of the ghost because it's the same number of degrees he said before.
Yes.
He starts feeling that electrical charge running through him again, this time accompanied by a horrible smell. And then the screaming starts again. And he's still on the phone with his mom, and so he's like, so I have to go.
But I'd be like, do you hear my house screaming?
Yeah, no, I think what he actually did was he yelled to his mom that they needed help. And that they needed to get out of the house like right now. So he hangs up, and then the house starts shaking, and he hears something loud coming down the stairs, like boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that his room had 2 doors, and one of them connected to the stairs. So now he's thinking, I need to get my kids out now. I need to get to them. So he runs to the bedroom, and he said he could feel something behind him, but he wouldn't turn around to see what it was because he knew he didn't want to know what it was. And the door to his bedroom is closed, and it won't open, and he's like throwing himself against it, trying to get it open. All the while, the house is shaking and screaming, and his kids are screaming, and there's these booms coming from everywhere, and I'm like already overstimulated.
I was just about to say, that's very overstimulating.
There's like too much going on. So he finally gets the door open, after he's like slamming himself into this door, it finally like slams open. And he yells at the older boy to grab his little brother and run to the car. And Eliza's in shock. She won't move. So he says he finally slapped her to snap her out of it.
Yeah.
And as he grabs her to run out of the bedroom, he hears the other door to his room slam open. So they run out of the house, feeling like something is right on their tail, chasing them to the door. They jump in the car and drive to the top of the hill by the house to wait for his parents. And from this vantage point, they can still see the house, and through the windows, they can see that black churning mass, like, running through the house like it was searching for them.
Gross.
Yes. Yeah, I don't love it. Fear won this time, and Steven says that was the last night that they spent in the house.
Well, can you blame them?
No.
They should have moved out sooner.
Yeah. So he said the kids never stepped foot back in the house, and when he had to go to the house, he always took someone with him.
Mm-hmm.
Steven's brother and sister-in-law were in town, and he took his parents and brother over to investigate the house after this incident. His mom said that she also felt that electrical sensation. They would hear pounding and whispers from the boys' bedroom. They didn't find anyone or anything, but they did smell something putrid. They would hear screams from a young girl. And apparently, when they went to leave after packing up their stuff to move out, something was watching them from the trees and then chased them to the truck.
Again, gross.
Yeah. So he calls the landlady up at some point and is like, I can't live in your stupid haunted house anymore. And she agreed to let him out of the lease if he could find someone to move in and take over the lease. And he's just like, no, I'm just not living there anymore. But also, you need to promise me that you won't let another family with children move in there because it's
Right.
freaking scary. So when he showed up to drop off the keys, his arm is still bruised from busting down the door. The landlady told him, quote, some people are meant to live in an old house like that, and some people aren't. I never thought you were the old house type. So I'm wondering if, like, she's possessed.
Right.
She's like
She's
an
a
old
ghost.
witch. Maybe she's a ghost. And I guess I was wrong about the amount of time that they stayed, because in an article called The Screaming House of Union, Missouri on frightfind.com, they said the family was only there for 13 days.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if the 13 days included the week he was gone on his work trip. I don't think so, though, because I feel like, just timeline-wise, there were at least 3 weeks there. Either way, the Lutz family stayed in Amityville for 28 days before running away screaming into the night. So,
Right. I'll tell you something.
right. Well, unfortunately, that's not the end of the story.
Okay.
Steven said that about a month after he moved out, a friend told him to look up the name John T. Crow. And the first thing that he realizes is that, I guess, when his brother was at the house with him, packing up or investigating or whatever, he was taking pictures as they were walking through the house. And that when he took a picture down in the basement, like fruit cellar, butcher shower area, a face showed up in one of the pictures. And when he saw the picture of this John Crow guy, he realized that was the face from the picture. And so this guy was a captain for the Union Army during the Civil War, but was possibly a Southern sympathizer. He did have enslaved people on his property, which was the property that the Screaming House was on.
Okay.
The house is maybe where the slaves' quarters stood. He also apparently found out the 400 Confederate soldiers were executed on the property. And in his research, he also discovered, fun fact, that the house that he lived in was built in 1936 and was from a Sears catalog.
Kind of like how you can buy houses on Amazon.
I had no idea that you could buy houses from Sears catalogs.
We were only ever concerned with the toys, though.
That's true. We were just circling all of the things
We haven't had a
wanted.
Sears catalog since we were wee.
Yeah. But
So,
I definitely didn't look at the house.
houses for sale.
Yeah, no. So he also said that someone he knew who lived nearby saw police racing up to the house one night, and that the people who lived in the house were running out in their pajamas. And remember how he told the landlady to promise she wouldn't move in a family? Well, I guess the very next people were like her cousins or something who had a small child. And no one seemed to last very long. At some point, it was turned into a dog kennel.
That seems appropriate.
But you know how they say animals can sense?
Well, that's what
fear?
I'm
It's like,
saying.
can you
Like,
imagine? They had to
those
have been
dogs
miserable.
have got to be going bonkers
Yeah,
the entire time because they're more sensitive than we are.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's still a dog kennel. I don't know how long that lasted. And as far as like this part of the next part of the story. I don't know if this was pre or post dog kennel. But another family moved into the house that had some pretty severe incidents happen. The woman, or a woman named Linda, moved into the house with her husband and their teenage daughter. And it kind of starts small. Linda hears breathing next to her, footsteps coming down the stairs, but then it starts escalating. Linda found the hair cut off of all of her daughter's dolls and assumes that it was her daughter, who insisted that it was not her.
Yeah. But I mean, kids lie about that kind of stuff. Sometimes they
That's
blame it
true.
on elephants.
It was an elephant, though.
Mm-hmm.
He steals my stuff.
Yeah.
He puts it places
Mm-hmm.
and breaks my toys.
Yeah.
Rude for you to assume that the elephant is not real and that I was lying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this part's terrible, so cover your ears. They found their kitten dead in the house with its neck and back broken.
Disgusting.
One night, Linda said she was home alone when the police showed up at her house saying that a call about a suicide had come from the house. And Linda again said she was home alone and did not make the call.
Mm-hmm.
Their gutters would randomly catch fire. The transformer would blow up every few months. These people stayed in this house much longer. One time she found her grandson at the bottom of the stairs bleeding, saying something had pushed him down the stairs.
Cool.
So this story's crazy. Linda's daughter, I keep wanting to call Linda Helen because the name in the book is Helen, but the name on the haunting story is Linda, but it's the same person. This one lady. So anyway, her daughter was outside on the phone, and they do reenact this on a haunting. She said she heard a baby crying, and she looked up in the tree, and there was a baby in a white gown hanging from the tree by its feet. And when she calls her mom, the baby's gone. And in the book, Steven says that Linda calls him over to the house because, quick side note that I forgot to mention, when Linda moved into the house, I can't remember if he reached out to her to warn her about the house or if she somehow found out that he had lived there, and had crazy experiences and reached out to him. But they had become pretty good friends and they were talking regularly and researching the house together and stuff.
Yeah.
So when she was experiencing something, she'd call Steven. Well, this night with the baby, Linda asked Steven to come over, and I guess there was a thunderstorm, and they sat outside on the porch, and at some point, all three of them claimed to have seen this baby hanging from the tree. And when the storm passed, and now it's just raining, they could hear a little kid playing outside and hear its footsteps, like, slapping in the water on the sidewalk and hear it giggling. But then the giggles turned into, like, a guttural growl.
Cute.
Yeah. So Steven and Linda reach out to a psychic to come and check out the house, and let me tell you, her husband is not having this. I don't think at this point he really believes any of this stuff is going on, but he's also just kind of like, if this is a ghost or a demon or whatever, maybe you need to leave it alone. So the psychic and her assistant go through the house, and I guess the psychic is actually lifted off her feet and thrown into a wall. She tells them that there's a man there who doesn't like people living in his house.
Okay.
And that the basement is a vortex where spirits can come and go freely. Look, I'm not paying rent for these spirits.
They can pay their own.
They
damn
are
rent.
not on the lease, and they need to go. They need to be evicted. One night, Linda calls Steven and says that she can hear growling and that it's getting closer and closer. So he goes over. He's immediately hit with that electrical charge. Also, dude, why do you keep going to this house?
Right.
This is not the place for you.
Just be like, listen.
Listen,
man.
Linda.
Just be like, listen, Linda. Linda, listen.
Yeah. So, he also hears the growling, and the basement door keeps opening by itself. Put a hook and eyelash on the outside of it. I don't know what's happening. Just pull one off of one of the other doors if you need to.
Little slide lock.
Yeah, I know, gosh. So Linda also has a visible bite mark that she says she got while she was asleep. And then it starts getting scary. It starts getting scary.
Then the scary stuff begins.
That's small potatoes. Linda starts envisioning herself killing her husband. And one night she wakes up to see her daughter standing at the end of her bed, maybe with a knife. I think at some point they have the daughter sent to a mental health facility. Linda and Steven called a paranormal investigator who told them that they have a demon and need to have a priest bless the house.
Okay.
So this priest comes over and does like the absolute least amount of work possible. He just kind of like sprinkles some holy water and then leaves without really doing anything, and he never comes back. The paranormal investigator tells him, well, then bless the house yourselves. Like, you don't have to have a degree.
Yep. Blessing
Just say some prayers.
haunted places for dummies.
Exactly. But I guess they did it wrong because the next morning Glinda realizes that the hamster is missing and she finds the clean skull of the hamster on the floor.
You know, you're making this story really hard for me here.
That's the last dead animal, I think.
Okay.
I think. I'm pretty sure. But also in one night, like what cleaned the skull of the hamster? Like it's not just like the head of the hamster like Binks does.
Yeah.
Binks just eats the butt off the mouse and leaves the head for everybody to step on.
I know. God, that's so gross.
It's so gross.
I can still feel where I stepped on that mouse head.
Oh my gosh, and the entire mouse that I stepped on that one time, luckily I had on shoes. But the crunch still lives with me. So they invited other paranormal investigators to the house along with a Christian women's group, question mark.
Okay.
These investigators said that it was physically hot in the basement when they went to investigate. It wasn't like Paris Hilton hot.
No.
It was like spicy in down there.
It wasn't like sliving.
No, it wasn't sliving. So the Christian women's group was apparently in the backyard when they felt that electrical surge, and then I guess that scared them and they were running into the house, but someone snapped a picture before they went in, and allegedly in this picture you can see some figures that look like voodoo priestesses gathered around a burning cross.
Told you there were voodoo dolls in the shed.
Friend, this is a very specific and weird thing to like say.
Mhm.
I can't find the picture anywhere.
It's haunted.
Look, if I was trying to convince people that my house was haunted and the story I was telling was very, very real, believe you me, everybody would see that picture.
Right.
I can't find it. So, Linda's husband finally jumps on the ghost train when he saw a hooded figure at the foot of their bed one night. I wrote Helen. Linda, whatever her name is, also said that she saw a wolf in their room with glowing yellow eyes, and that a hooded figure led the wolf out of the room. It's like, come on, they're sleeping. Let's go.
You need to go outside.
The hooded figure also apparently would sit on the bed and have conversations with the sleeping Linda. I understand that I also do this. I have conversations while I'm asleep. But it's usually because you think you need to talk to me when I'm asleep, and I don't have any recollection of it happening the next day. And trigger warning, this hooded figure allegedly began raping Linda, and she said that this happened multiple times.
That's lovely.
Yes. So, remember I told you that Linda was fantasizing about killing her husband?
Uh-huh.
Well, Stephen tells a story in the book that Linda called him one day and that her voice sounded weird, and she told him that her husband was cheating on her. And so the story goes that she decided she was going to kill him for this. So she goes into the kitchen, she grabs a knife, and apparently her daughter's friends who were at the house were helping her pick out the murder weapon.
Huh.
And so the way my brain is picturing this is like she's in some kind of like state and she's hallucinating that they're doing this.
Yeah.
I hope. Because if this is true, we probably need to know if these kids are like hospital adults. So she takes the knife to her husband's job and tries to kill him, but didn't. And then she went home, she fell asleep, and when she woke up, she had a bruise on her neck and bite marks on her back.
Now, when you say tried to kill him, do you mean she tried to work up the nerve to kill
No,
him?
I feel like, again, I'm gonna have to show you, here, let me show you my notes.
Because if she tried to kill him, How did she
So,
just get to go home?
as I was writing this book, as I was writing
I
this
was
book,
writing this book.
as I was reading this book, I had a thing of Post-it notes, and I would write stuff down and like put it in the book because my idea was I was going to write the story while I had the book in my possession, and that way I could go back and look. So this is what my notes look like. This is a big giant mess. I mean, I had them in chronological order, but in my notes I just had that she tried to kill him. My recollection of this story is that like maybe he got in the car with her and she like pulled the knife out or something and he was able to like overpower her to keep her from doing it. And I kind of want to say that he didn't go home that night. But I think she like actually tried to kill him.
Okay. But like I said, after you try to kill someone, you generally should end up in police custody.
You would think.
Not just get to go home.
Yes. Well, Steven says that he went to pick up Linda after she called him claiming that the demon tried to kill her, and that when I'm like, you tried to kill this guy. What are you? Okay. So when he showed up, the daughter and her friends were sitting on the hood of a car snarling at him, and he found Linda catatonic on the couch. He could hear banging coming from upstairs and claims that the daughter tried to stop him from taking Linda away from the house. So I don't know if they're in some kind of weird, like, possessed state. I don't know. And so he takes Linda to the ER. She had admitted to the mental health, whatever, like a mental health hold or whatever they call them, after admitting to being both homicidal and suicidal.
A psych hold.
Psych hold. Thank you. Brain stopped working. Her husband found them a new house to live in while she was in the hospital. But apparently Linda's possession or pre-possession, what is the word? We learned it one time. That like before you are possessed, there was another word.
I don't remember said word.
I think it's oppression. I think that's like, I don't know. I don't know if she was like fully possessed, like maybe she was oppressed. So she's still showing signs of being affected by whatever's going on, even after moving out of this house. She apparently had gone on a night hike with some of her friends, and she suddenly started like cursing. Her eyes were black. She told her friends, I could kill myself on Monday and you'd forget me by Thursday, and tell people to stop looking at me as they drive by. So this could be demonic, but it could also just be severe mental health crisis. She was dropped off at her daughter's house, and apparently her daughter's dogs wouldn't go near her, and she claimed that there were black shadows rising from the ground. One day, Linda showed up at Steven's house demanding to be let in, but apparently his cat started hissing and growling at the door, so he said no.
My cat said no.
I'm like, it's just Chunk. She's always angry.
Yes, she growls and hisses at everything.
She growls and hisses at me. Linda's daughter calls him and tells him that her mom has a gun and not to let her in the house. She drove to the Union House and just like parked in the front and said she was going to hang herself in the butcher shower. And then I guess her daughter found her, and Linda kind of comes to in the car and doesn't remember going there or what she was doing. She says she's been having blackouts that last for hours. And I think at this point she was admitted to a mental health facility again. On the episode of A Haunting, though, she seemed to be doing much better. So hopefully, like, she got whatever help she needed, whether it was mental or spiritual or whatever it needed to be. As for Steven, he said that for a long time after they left the house, he would have recurring nightmares about a naked, faceless man washing blood off of himself in the butcher shower. And that this man would be like grunting and panting.
Not gross at all.
Right? So that's exactly what you were picturing for this butcher shower, I think. He also claimed to experience poltergeist activity for like 10 years after leaving the house. It didn't really sound malicious like what he experienced in the house, but his kitchen cabinets or drawers and stuff would all be open. Okay. At one point, I think like all of his knives were lined up or something, which could be construed as malicious. It could be construed as OCD. Either way. In 2011, he had open heart surgery, and while he was on the table, he technically died during surgery, but they were able to bring him back, and he said that he didn't experience any more activity after that. So, like I said earlier, he wrote the book The Uninvited, The True Story of the Union Screaming House. That was what I read and got most of the information from. He wrote a sequel called Blessed Are the Wicked. I haven't read that. Interestingly, he also wrote a book about the Roland Doe possession and exorcism that we covered in episode 20.
Yeah.
He's still writing books. He has a blog where you can keep up with them in hillbilly horror stories. He said that he was living in Mexico, I think. I read something else that said he completed a documentary for the 5th season DVD release of Supernatural, but I couldn't really find what that meant. I didn't do like a deep dive. I just, when I Googled it, like something didn't immediately pop up and I gave up.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't have any idea.
He also founded the Missouri Paranormal Research Society, or MPR. One other fun fact about this story is that allegedly, without being prompted, the Vatican wrote a 156-page report on this house
Okay.
that classified it as a combination of infestation, oppression, there's a word, obsession, and possession. I think at some point you can see blurry pictures of pages of this report on Facebook, but literally nobody's ever seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Steven LaChance says it exists. Nobody else knows. And I don't know if Lorraine Warren physically investigated the house, but allegedly she told Steven LaChance and Helen/Linda after they both left, quote, "It is far from over." And so that's the story.
Wow.
Yeah. But I have some issues with the story.
Okay.
Because one, why can't we see the Vatican report?
I don't know if you can really see anything the Vatican has.
But if they sent it to this guy...
No, true. Because, supposedly the Vatican also has, like, the world's largest UFO
yeah.
library. So.
Two, I couldn't find any videos where anyone has researched the house, despite seeing things saying that researchers have EVPs and other documented experiences in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody puts everything on YouTube, so I don't understand why I couldn't find any of this information,
But
like
also,
any of this evidence.
where's Zach Bagans?
Next thing I literally was going to say, the Ghost Bros have not visited this house. Mood music has started. Sam and Colby have not visited this house. I don't know if it's because the owners won't let them. But if it's the same owner, I guess maybe she seemed pretty hell-bent on denying any paranormal activity. If this house was that haunted, I feel like Zach would have just bought the house just so he could investigate it. Because it sounds pretty haunted if it's true. But allegedly, there have been paranormal investigators who went through this house. And so, I don't know why we don't see any documentation of their investigations online.
Yeah.
And why are we not seeing the picture Steven's brother took in the basement that has the face in it?
Mm-hmm.
Or the one with the voodoo priestesses? And my slogan, pics or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
she actually invented that slogan.
I really did. It's really good. TM. So clearly it's not like they're like, oh, this is a terrible thing that happened and we just want to put it behind us and move on. Because they give interviews and write books and go on TV shows. And so it makes me a little skeptical why they wouldn't show evidence if they had it. But I will say that if this story is true, it's freaking scary.
Yeah.
And if any of that had happened to me, not only would I have run away screaming, I would have moved out of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, there's your story.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I had a thought and now I've lost it.
Get it back. Find it.
You said somewhere in the story that something had been turned into something else.
Uh-oh.
Like a place had been turned into something else.
That it turned into a dog kennel?
Yeah. And I was thinking about the fact that the like playground or whatever from my last UFO story has now been turned into a soccer field. Well, not even the playground. The place where the UFO landed has been turned into a soccer field.
Oh. Was it like magnetic?
Right? Just like, some creepy things should just be left alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Not, let's put our children in the middle of this place that...
Yeah. I'm reading a book called Chasing the Boogeyman.
Uh-huh.
And it's written like it's a true crime book, but it's fiction.
Uh-huh.
And in fact, the guy who wrote the Maura Murray book even wrote like the foreword to the book and making it sound like it's a true crime book.
Yeah.
But I guess one of the girls that gets murdered, spoiler alert, is left like posed on like a playground, like a slide at the elementary school or something. And then like a week later, like kids are back playing on the slide, and I was like, don't do that. Burn it to the ground. I can't imagine like playing on playground equipment knowing that somebody was dead there. I know it's fiction, but I know that also happens in real life, so.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was thinking has nothing to do with the story, but you know what story I want to do?
What? You're gonna tell me? Tell me.
I'm going to tell you because I'm not going to do it.
You're not gonna do it? Okay.
Is the story of a friend and the tragedy that happened to her family.
Oh, right. Yeah, not without her permission to
And
do so.
I don't even know how to bring it up.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't think she listens to us, so she can't get the hint.
No. But I always thought that would be like a good like listener tale if she like weighed in with her true crime story. And
I know Amber was just telling me ghost stories from her house earlier, and I was thinking that she should write them down and send them to us.
Right? Like, we have a podcast. We ask for people to tell us their personal stories every weekish.
Every several days.
Every sometimes.
Every once in a while.
But yeah. I always wanted to do that story. And I almost asked her what was the name of the show that her family was on, because I can't remember which show it was. We watched it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I can't remember the name of the show. And so I was going to ask her, but then I was like, this might be a little too sensitive to bring up again. Because she told me about it while it was happening.
Yeah.
But I've since forgotten which show it was.
Yeah.
And so I started to text her and be like, what was the name of that show? But then I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, I know.
Asking her to tell me the name of the show because I want to be entertained by it.
Right, yeah, I guess that's true.
And I imagine it's a fairly sensitive subject.
Yeah. Well, because wasn't she like anti the show anyway or something? Or like some of her family
Some of her family was. She wasn't on the show.
Right. But like they didn't like that the show was being made or something. Yeah.
Several of them were on there and I guess wanted like attention or whatever, but there were other ones that were like, this is tactless and
yeah. Yeah, dang it.
But that's something that I've thought about for the last 60 episodes is that's something I would like to do. That and the other story we can't tell.
Oh, yeah. Someday. Well, now that we've been so cryptic at you.
I know.
What else?
You guys know what we're talking about.
You know. Guys, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you, but I'm Selena Gomez's secret friend.
It's a secret, though.
It's a secret, though, so don't tell her that I told you because it's a secret.
Yeah. So, that's a thing that happened.
I need to find somebody else that I know and talk to who maybe also follows her to see if they also got put on the secret friends list.
So I don't know how she would choose, because it's not like she's choosing people
mean, if it was just like random, like...
Well, my question is, Did she only add select people, or did she, like, add everybody?
That's what I was wondering, because that's what I want to find somebody else who follows her that I can ask if they got added to this list. Let's see. Let's ask Amber. Do you follow Selena Gomez on Instagram? Some kid today told me. Okay, you know how like when they get in a fight now they say run the fade?
No, I guess I
No,
missed
that's
that
not that's not in your vocabulary yet.
No.
So I said throw a fade today. Got corrected real fast. It's run a fade. But then my little punk in third period, he was like, it's run dat fade. And he was like, you have to say dat. And I was like, I'm not 18 anymore. I cannot say dat.
Yeah.
Said, once you stop being 18, you sound stupid.
I feel silly enough telling the people at Torchy's Tacos that I want a faux show.
A faux show. Yeah. Or a mofo or whatever the other one is.
The mofo is delicious. I don't really care for the faux show. It's a little too sweet. And it was really off-putting. I don't remember it being gross the first time I ate it.
Yeah.
But this last time I didn't like it.
Yeah.
The other one, the fried avocado one, was still good though.
Yeah. Well, good. I have to say, it's not my favorite place that we eat, but I know you
like
really
my
like
favorite, but it's something that I like, and it's something that's not here. I do prefer Velvet Taco.
And I didn't eat there. Oh, Amber has not responded to me, but I did see that she's one of my mutual friends with Selena Gomez. So now I need her to respond to me so I can say, please tell me, did you or did you not get added to Secret Friends?
Yeah.
Also, can one of you young people explain Secret Friends to us and what's different than close friends?
Right?
Because
wasn't that the whole point of your close friends, is only certain people could see those posts? And now you need a whole other layer of friends that can only see these posts?
And I don't care to Google it myself.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to explain it to me, I will appreciate that. Yeah.
We're old and tired. We rarely Google things for ourselves. We just ponder.
Finally reached the age where I'm like, I'm not learning anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Technology is over for me. I've learned enough things. I finally am an old person.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, I don't understand why old people don't
They've
understand.
lived through all the things. Why haven't they?
They should be the best at technology.
Yeah.
But I get it. You get to a point where you're like, how many more things do I have to learn?
Like, I don't want to learn this thing.
Like, I've already had records and cassettes and CDs and MP3s, and it's too much. There's so many things.
Yeah.
And now I've got to have CDs and cassettes and records again, and it's so much.
Plus, it's the year of analog.
Is it?
It is.
Oh gosh, I dare my teenagers to go analog. I just double dog dare them.
People are starting to read more books and watch like VHS tapes and DVDs of stuff.
Hold right there. So I have in my classroom TV, VCR, DVD player that's in every classroom. Mm-hmm. And so one day when the kids was like, can we watch a VHS on the VCR one time? And I was like, okay. And they were like, could you bring... I'm throwing out a name there because it was... I don't remember what it was, but it was something weird, and it was like, can you bring in your VHS copy of like Lonesome Dove? And I was just like, why would I own that?
First of all, this house probably at some point owned
the VHS
of Lonesome Dove.
And I don't know if it was Lonesome Dove. It could have been so many other things.
I'm just saying. The VHS of Lonesome Dove has probably lived in this house.
I was like, but I probably have an entire box full of full of CDs, VHS tapes that are just NSYNC performances that were recorded off of television.
Yeah.
So if you would like to watch some NSYNC performances recorded off of like the Today Show, absolutely I will bring those in for you to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But Lonesome Dove I do not have. Anyway, we've talked forever.
That's fine. We usually have nothing to say.
That's
so.
true. We are usually super boring. And I'm not sure how entertaining this is, but
But we're talking.
at least we had something to say today.
Being chatty and bantering.
Yeah, just what everybody loves. And it's warm again.
I know. I was gonna say that at the beginning of the episode that it's barely the 2nd of March and it is so hot in here. I turned off my fan so it wouldn't be annoying during the podcast, but oh my god, it's so hot in here.
And it's so
I had to go buy a fan yesterday because it was so hot in here.
like wearing my shorts and my t-shirts, and it's so nice.
It is glorious.
I love it. I hate stupid wintertime.
Yeah. The sun is back and better than ever.
It really is. This is gonna be the sun's year.
Yeah.
This is it. Okay, well, remember you can find us on social media at Twisted and Mysterious. You can email us at twistedandmysteriousPodcast at gmail.com. Remember, it's twistedandmysteriousPodcast at gmail.com. Nobody wanted stickers. Didn't get a single message. So, that's cool. We'll keep them all.
We'll just keep our...
We'll just put them all over our own things.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We'll just
So
go
fine.
deface town.
The thing that always has the stickers on it, and
Uh-huh.
then the city like paints over it, and then people put more stickers on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we'll just go deface public property and
it's fine. It's totally fine. Okay, well, I think that's all I have.
okay. Well, I think that's all I have as well. So, as always, remember that people are gross and don't get murdered.
And don't live in a haunted house. Okay, bye.